the next movie that I'm going to introduce is Where the Wild Things Are, directed by Spike Jonze. This is the movie that's based on the popular children's novel, I'm sporting the t-shirt today, by Maurice Sendak. And basically what it's about is there's a young boy named Max who has a wild imagination but not a lot of friends. And he has to sort of entertain himself. You get the idea sort of from the movie that he may be ADD, ADHD, maybe not. Maybe he's just a really imaginative kid. But he has a hard time relating with other people, and he has a hard time understanding why can't everyone just stop their lives and play with him. And so he, after a little argument with his mother, he goes off into the woods and he ferries on a boat over to a new magical land of giant, kind of scary but sort of cuddly, really depressed creatures. And what he finds there is that a lot of the same problems he's having at home still exists in this other world. And I think the movie's very interpretable and very kind of fluid. But I think the movie was trying to say, in my opinion, is that you can't escape your problems. Which is really interesting for a kids movie, because most kids movies that have this go to another world mentality is always about how, it sort of enforces this idea of escapism. Whereas this movie is saying that, you can't leave your problems. Your problems are going to follow you. And all of these animals, I think, Carol and Judith and Ira, all voiced by kind of famous people, James Gandolfini in particular. I think they're all different interpretations of the people in his life, as well as the emotions that he's feeling inside. So I love this movie. I think this isn't your typical kids movie, and I think it's probably going to split people right in the middle as far as how they feel about it. But I thought this was just a fantastic film, one of my favorites of the year, and I gave it an A.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. I thought it was a wonderful movie. I do think that it's not meant for younger kids. I think that it's definitely driven on having like maybe a 9-year-old, maybe 9+ almost. But it really helps you kind of see through the eyes of a child the whole time. It's like this. Even the monsters, they're all just these big children. It's like adults acting like children, except adults who can rip a tree in half. But, but the thing is with this movie, I interpreted it very similarly, but one of the things that I thought it really touched on too that really stood out to me was, besides being accountable for your actions, is also stepping into the, even all the creatures, they didn't see what other people were going through, or the other monsters on the island. And just like Max didn't, he was just like, why are all these people mad? Why aren't they doing the right things? And so when he goes to the island, he has to learn, oh, well, my mom's going through things, my sister's going through things, everybody's going through these things. And so he kind of has to learn, to walk in other people's shoes, not have this limited view of things.
Exactly.
But,
and he kind of plays the mother figure when he's in this other world. And he understands, like, Carol is basically a mirror of himself from his world.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I can't be the king of everybody.
Exactly.
I want you all to respect me, but at the same time, it's not fair to expect everything from me.
Well, it's a coming of age story, but then at the same time, besides being a coming of age story, it also it shows it from the adult and the children's perspective at the same time. So I thought it was really good. I would give it acting wise. I mean, you have these big, but the monsters themselves, they're not done by people, but they're amazing, and they act, and their emotions, and they're
so expressive.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It will split audiences. There's people who are going to hate this movie just flat out, and that's okay. But I also like this movie a lot, and I would give it a B+.
Cool. Cool.
The next movie is Up in the Air. It's a film by